Welcome. Are we going to say
hi? We can say hi. Hi.
Okay, say hi.
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 Welcome to episode 7 of the WDWpov
Disney Couples
podcast. Do we have to go back and forth?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either. So welcome to the WDWpov Disney Couples podcast. That's why the microphone is hanging low. We usually try to put it there so you can see. This is a podcast. So you can talk into the mic. Talk into the mic.
Do I have to?
You can,
okay.
Yes.
So tonight...
Thanks, Ross, for the elevator music. Yeah.
Tonight, we are talking about Snow White and the Prince.
Yes.
And I sort of am like Disney Princess Snow White themed, although I don't have ruby lips because...
What, you just didn't have enough time?
No, I don't. I threw out my red lipstick because it was old and I haven't replaced it. So
well, we're just going to have to get you some
red lipstick.
Some red lipstick.
I only wear red lipstick like 2-3 times a year.
Ross is bouncing back and forth. There's Ross, and then there's Ross.
Oh.
Orange cone Ross and regular Ross.
Okay, I'm not going to keep track of this. That's your job. But I didn't even have a red ribbon. Do you know what my red ribbon is?
What is your red ribbon?
Can you see it? Can you see what it is? It was a white ribbon that I magic markered.
Are you serious?
Yes.
You magic markered a ribbon. Oh my! That's the high salary, the high amount of.
You pay me well.
We do. This is the high caliber props that we use for our shows.
Well, I usually don't put ribbons in my hair.
Oh my goodness. So anyway, welcome everybody. I see a number of people jumping on the show here. I appreciate it. So tonight is one of our Disney Couples podcast nights. We sort of bounce
We're going to do this about once a month
or every few weeks, right? And so tonight
episode... And I should have gotten my Snow White mug. I grabbed the Pooh mug.
Oh man, that would have been perfect. Yeah, so technically this is a podcast, but we will, be watching comments and stuff as we have people commenting because we are doing this live. But tonight is episode 7 of the Disney Couples podcast, which we will be talking, as you mentioned, Snow White and the Prince. Now, the Prince, does that mean I'm the Prince?
You are my prince.
Am I the guy formerly known as the Prince?
No, you are my
prince. I'm just the Prince. Okay, very good.
So,
just wanted to make sure.
Do you?
Hey, Mary's here.
Okay,
Mary's
so
here. We could start the show now. Mary's here.
Hi, Mary. We are so glad you're here. Hi,
and Steve too.
And
I'm sorry.
Is Nevaeh there?
She probably.
Hi, Nevaeh, if she's there. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, because somebody might be watching that does not know, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was Disney's first animated movie.
Perfect. It was.
And it was Disney. It was.
Speak.
It was the first full length
Animated motion
movie.
picture. Yes. Yes.
So not just Disney's, but
First period. Yeah, first feature-length animated motion picture in color with sound. Very well done, in my opinion.
Now, when you watch it, it's entertaining. The dwarfs and the hi ho, it's off to work we go. And it is entertaining.
It is very entertaining.
But it can also be very scary. When you watch it, the evil exuded by the queen.
Oh, well, okay. So Jack, our son, obviously, our youngest, he does not want or like to watch Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. He loves the
dwarfs.
Dwarfs. I'm sorry, I screwed up.
No, he likes the dwarfs.
He loves. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant. I thought I said it wrong. Okay, I did say. We got people bouncing back and forth between apparently Facebook and our YouTube, which we are on both, by the way. If you want to go to WDWpov YouTube or Facebook, you can catch the show live right now. Either way. So yeah, Jack does not like this movie. Now, we're not talking specifically about the movie. We're talking about the couple, and we will bring up the movie, obviously, as we talk. But he does not like the witch. I mean, she is, like you said, she's just pure evil. She's bad. Bad news.
Nevaeh, hi.
Nevaeh's having
She's having a conversation with me.
We'll give a shout out to Nevaeh.
Okay, so
nice to have you here.
So here's what we know about Snow White. She is a young girl. Now, there is so much controversy about her age. No age is actually given. She may be 14 or 15 in Grimm's fairy tales, which it was a Grimm's fairy tale.
Oh, Grimm's. Just Grimm's fairies.
No, she was 7.
Oh my goodness. 7?
Yes, she was 7.
7.
But we don't know how long she was asleep or any of that.
I hope she was asleep till she was legal.
What was legal back then?
I don't. Apparently 7.
How old was my grandmother when she got married?
I know. It was
17, 16,
it was
15?
a different time. Yeah. It was a different time. That's for sure. The Wicked Witch, though, very scary. Very.
So she is a young girl. She has dark hair. Mm-hmm. She has fair skin and ruby lips.
Okay.
She is the daughter of the king. So that makes her a princess. Her dad dies. And it always
happens all the time. Man.
And she is now living with her evil stepmother.
Chris's great grandmother was 16.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just the way it was.
Now, there was some controversy a few years back. Somebody on Twitter said that the prince was 31. And so she's 14 or 15. He's 31. But there is no mention of this at all anywhere. This was something somebody made up, I think, just to cause controversy.
Right. Okay, what's the difference if he was 21 and she was 14 or 7 or whatever, or 31 and 14?
So
I mean, that's pretty much, it's not a whole lot of difference by that point.
So when we're talking about
forget
Snow White and the prince as a couple, we are not advocating that people go out and start dating when they're 14. And
or 7 or
just the opposite. Okay.
but Orange Cone saying, different era, potential timeline. 15, 16 was the age of marriage back then.
And now, we are so used to people waiting until their late 20s, 30s, 40s to get married that seems normal. But, by the time people are getting married, many women are then past their childbearing ages. So...
Yeah, then Chris is asking, how do they know that about
they
the
don't.
31? That's
somebody made it up to cause a controversy, and people grabbed onto it and believed it.
Holly's over on. See, Holly's moving over to the YouTube side so we can make about.
So the prince
2 pennies.
may be around 18.
Appreciate it.
There is no name given to the prince.
Right. Yeah. So if I'm the prince and you're Snow White, I'm the prince.
However, there was a name given to him later. Now,
Not in the movie though, but
not in the movie. And a lot of people, I mean, you know, if you watched Once Upon a Time, Snow White in Once Upon a Time, he was charming. He was Prince Charming.
Right.
The only reason that happened is in the movie, Snow White says anyone could see that he was charming, the only one for me.
Right.
But his name is not Prince Charming.
It is not. We don't. What is it?
It's Prince Florian, Florian. It was allegedly, and I say allegedly because when you are reading on the internet, unless it's a Disney site, I say allegedly.
Florian.
Used by Disney when they began their Princess collection. It has been used in Disney on Ice.
Florian.
So if they're using it on Disney on Ice, I would say that's an official.
That's got to be official. That's.
But
canon.
I have not heard it in Disney on Ice.
No, I have not either.
So if anyone has heard it, Snow White and that guy.
Snow White and the guy.
That's what T9 is. It.
Florian. Florian. That's almost like, Hansel? Like, the Grimm's fairy tales are very dark, though. I mean, thank goodness that Walt Disney had the foresight, or whatever you want to call it, to change these to make them viewable by the masses. Because if he had done it to the original stories of most of the Grimm's fairy tales, people would have been running out of the theater, grabbing their kids, covering their faces, and heading out the door.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the interactions.
Okay.
And what they mean and how we can apply it to our lives when we're raised. Some of us are raising children, and we're trying to guide our children into picking a mate.
Okay. Talk.
Okay.
She can you hear my wife?
Can you hear me?
Can you hear her?
No, he's throwing me.
She faces me to I'm the boomer. Remember, everybody calls me the boomer because I talk loud.
I don't.
Because I know you need to talk loud and enunciate.
But you have a deep voice.
Okay. I just want to make sure everybody can hear you at a good level.
Okay.
Okay.
So when Snow White and the prince meet, Snow White is singing. The prince rides up. He hears her.
Patrick has Florian written on his puzzle table. Nice.
So he investigates where this voice is coming from. He begins singing, and she runs away. Well,
that must have had. I wonder if he sounded like me, I guess, in real life.
What?
He
sounds like you? She ran away.
That's what I'm saying. Who sang though? Wait, he was singing or she was singing?
She was singing. He heard, investigated, and then
okay.
He starts singing, and she runs off.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. He started singing and scared her away.
She goes up on her balcony, and she, at one point, she kisses a dove, and it flies down, and it gives the prince a kiss. So here's my question.
Okay.
Do you think she was being a little forward there? Was she flirting?
I suppose you could take it that way.
Okay, so why don't you bring what he is singing one song. He is singing one song.
But before we sing one song, Gaston.
He's forced to do this. I don't know why. There's something within him that compels him to do it.
It's like Pavlov's dog. I see Annette's name pop up, and I got to do it.
Okay, so one song.
We're having a question though. What is her real name? Snow White.
Snow White.
That's her real name?
I think, unless somebody knows something different that I don't.
If anyone knows, if there's a different name other than Snow White, please let us know. Medieval karaoke. Okay, so am I supposed to do one song? Because
no, you can bring it up though.
I'm not. I don't know the song that well. I really don't. People run away when T9 has things. Okay. So you want me to bring that up? Hold on. Go ahead. Okay, here we go. Okay. I'm going to pull up one song here. Give me 1 second. See if I can get the right one. Da, 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 da. Oh, wait a second. Nope, nope. Here it is. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see if it works.
I'm waiting patiently.
Okay. There
so
it
he
is.
does.
Look at that. Look at that.
He does bring this up. Okay, so he's singing this to her. So he's telling her he loves her.
He does, yes. Okay. So am I supposed to do this?
You don't have to sing.
No. I think I need to. Who wants to hear me sing this song? Does anyone?
It's pretty bad.
Does anyone want to hear me sing one song from Snow White? I'll play the Prince.
And you know, the Prince doesn't sing. I kind of think it's pretty bad in the movie.
Chris says go for it. Okay, who's the guy who does the song in the movie? What is the Prince's name? Isn't it Harry Stockwell?
Okay.
Harry Stockwell sings the song in Snow White. And Harry Stockwell actually is a tidbit in case you people out there. Dean Stockwell's father. Anyone know Dean Stockwell? He was one of the characters who played in the show with Scott Bakula.
Why did Mary say it's time for GCT now?
I think she's trying to say that we need to move along and skip the song. Okay. No, we got people want me to go for it, looks like. So anyway, Dean Stockwell, Scott Bakula, Quantum Leap.
Yes.
There you go. In case any Quantum Leap fans out there. Okay. It would be much better than his. Okay.
You don't have to sing the whole thing.
I'll try. I'll start. I don't understand the beginning part. I can't get the beginning.
Now that I found
you, what I have to say. I was doing better earlier. One song, I have but one song. One song, only for you. One heart tenderly beating, ever entreating. I'm screwing up now. Constant and true.
You know, I have to say,
I'm done.
I have to say, it sounds similar to the movie.
One love.
Okay, so they say that the Queen.
Me. One love thrilling me through.
Okay.
One song my heart keeps singing, of one love only for you.
Okay, that was bad. That last part was bad. Okay, so they say that the Queen was sewing on a snowy day. She sat close to a black window frame while she sewed. After she pricked her finger on the needle, a bit of blood dropped in the snow.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where are we at here?
Yes,
oh, orange cone.
I already read that.
Oh, orange cone. Orange cone's talking about
the Queen
that.
came to like the contrasting colors of red and white and black.
In the story, she said, if only I had a child as white as snow, with lips as red as blood and hair as black as the wood in this frame. Later, she'd give birth to a child. So see that?
Okay.
Yep. Snow White.
And Mary said that's what the movie sounds like, and it is.
It is not that good.
Okay, so
it's not that good of a song.
He sings this song to her, and as
Chris loves it though. Chris loves it.
But
after tonight, though, I don't think she'll ever hear it the same ever again.
As he's singing it, that's when she kisses the dove. So he's saying he loves her. Now, here's the big takeaway I got from that. And this is something that I've told my children.
Okay.
Sometimes men need encouragement. And they don't know when someone is interested in them.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta admit, probably like a 2x4 over the head a couple of times, to get me.
We are not advocating, and we didn't do our disclaimer that we are not licensed counselors, and we don't give marriage counseling. Okay.
I agree, Mary. After tonight, Chris is never going to hear that song again the same way. She's going to rethink
anyway, many times men don't get subtle hints. Now, we have gone from in my era where girls sort of twirled their hair, and men still didn't get that.
What does that mean? If you twirl your hair, doesn't that just mean you're
sort of flirting?
Oh, okay.
Sometimes it just means you're twirling your hair, but I mean, there are little things girls do. Now we've gone way overboard, and girls are on TikTok, bearing everything.
Now they're just falling out of their clothes.
Yes, men do not get anything subtle. So, with having 4 boys, I could say to my sons,
Ross made the first move with Donna,
but did she, in some manner, let you know that she was interested? So
maybe not.
A lot of times boys don't know when a girl is just being nice.
Pat thought the hair twirl was just a nervous habit too. That's what I'm. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. It's a family program, Ross. Family program.
So anyway, sometimes men need a little encouragement. So he's singing that he loves her, and she kisses the dove and sends it down, and the dove kisses him. Okay, so she said, in essence, she was saying, I'm interested in you too.
Okay. So she was flirting. Is that what you're telling us?
I don't think she was flirting. She was saying she felt the same way.
Okay.
I don't know. But I do think that many times women. Now, I am not speaking for every woman. I feel like I have to always give disclaimers because you say something and then everyone says, oh, no, I'm not like that. Many women think in their heads, if he loved me, he would do.
Yes.
And then when they don't do it.
Yes.
We expect men to be mind readers.
Yes. I agree.
Many women do that.
Yes, I agree.
So dynamics were different then.
Yeah.
Well, and this is the interesting thing. Mary's saying parents picked who you would marry, but obviously in this movie, her dad isn't.
Again, not advocating violence, with hitting someone over the head with a 2x4. That's just a figure of speech, everybody out there, just to make sure it's figure of speech. You don't actually do that. Okay, go ahead.
No, so obviously Snow White's on her own to find her own way.
Right. I mean, okay, let's can I get real here for a second?
Mm-hmm.
What was she doing living in this house with 7 dwarfs?
She ran away.
I know, but it's just a little weird, don't you think?
They were dwarfs.
oh my goodness. So there's
they were animated dwarfs.
They were animated dwarfs. Whew, you're digging yourself into a hole here tonight, baby. I don't know about that one. Okay. Go on.
I mean, I never, as a kid, watched it and thought anything sinister.
I didn't either. Yeah, they did. Mary said they needed help. And they did. They had a sloppy house. They didn't cook well. They needed help. Yes, exactly. And maybe they had put out an ad in, the.
No, they didn't. She just ran through the forest and found them.
It was like some kind of.
Actually, the animals helped her find them.
They put an ad out through the animal, communication line, and they found her. And
so she actually the Snow White shows the prince that she is interested without being over the top, and so now I think we can, even in marriage, sometimes you've been married a long time and you forget to show the person that you're still interested in them. You get into.
Okay. Pat.
So when you agree, we see this in a lot of people's marriages.
Yes.
they just start to get into a
You
routine,
get into a rut, sure.
and they
Yeah.
do the same things over and over.
Yeah,
And sort of the romance goes by the wayside.
it does. When's the last time we've been out on a date?
A
Oh.
long time. A long time. It gets a little
Hey,
harder.
Valentine's Day, I did take you out.
You did.
Well, 2 days later,
Yeah,
which we
went
planned
with
it.
the boys.
We planned it that way, but yes, the boys were with us.
Yes.
But you wanted them to be there, and I was okay. That was fine. I enjoyed. It was a fun evening.
Yes.
It was a good evening.
Okay. So
Not the most romantic evening,
Now,
but it was a good evening.
there is a scene in this movie
Uh-oh.
that I think is the most important scene. So you know,
Chris is telling me to take you on a date. Come on.
you know what? I want to go to Disney so bad.
She wants to go to Disney. It's a Disney date. Can we make a Disney date? Is
I
that
want to
okay?
go to Disney so bad.
It was how many months ago? Not too long.
It was short.
I know. Well,
was way
yeah. It
too
was the
short.
anniversary. It was the anniversary. 50th
It was way too
anniversary.
short.
Oh my goodness.
Well, is the new movie going to be called Snow White and the Little People?
I think it might be. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm
Okay.
not sure. I really don't know. Yeah. Let's go on a date to Epcot. How's that? We could spend an evening at Epcot.
Okay,
Would that be good?
that would be
During
wonderful.
which would you like?
We
Would
could
you
take
like?
the kids and just go on a date at Epcot, and the kids could. Marcus is 19.
Yeah, I mean they could do whatever,
Yeah.
walk around and do stuff on their own. But flower and garden, food and wine.
I'd love to go right now.
Well, flower and
Tomorrow.
garden,
Can
we
go
got to do.
tomorrow.
Yes. Let's go
Okay.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
So
pack up the car right now.
okay. So one of the most important scenes in this movie.
Ooh. So we're not going to say that out loud, Mary, but yeah, okay.
Tina, when are you going? So one of the most important scenes, I think, gets overlooked. Okay, so Snow White is living. She's living with these dwarfs, and she says things. She's seeing someday my prince will come. She's holding on to the hope that she's not.
Are you going to sing that song for us?
No, she's holding on to the hope she's not always going to live with her, with the dwarfs.
Oh, Jack. Yeah, okay, and that's going in June. See, we don't really. The latest we've gone is like early
The
June.
problem is
It's so hot, so
no.
hot.
The problem is it's still
May 21st to the 31st. We might, let's think about it.
That's where okay. We can think about it, and when you're thinking about it, does that pay for it?
No,
Thinking does not pay for something.
the power of positive thinking.
Okay,
Got it.
So
It's going to happen.
Snow White.
Yeah, summer's too hot.
So she does sing "Someday My Prince Will Come," and actually, do you have the lyrics for that one?
I actually did, but I didn't. They're not readily available. I didn't put them in my own little nice thing with the background with the prints or anything.
So she's at the cottage with the 7 dwarfs there. She's singing "Someday My Prince Will Come."
So,
She sings
I mean,
it.
everybody knows that one.
She sings it. Hold on. No.
My prince will come.
As she's making pies, and then she's talking to the dwarves, and then she goes up to bed and she prays. Do you remember her praying?
I forgot about that. You're right. She does. She actually does.
She does pray.
She does pray.
She says, "Bless the 7 little men who have been so kind to me, and may my dreams come true." Amen.
Nice.
And then she adds something about Grumpy, and may Grumpy. I don't know how she put it, and may Grumpy like me, but Grumpy and please make Grumpy like me.
And please make Grumpy like me. Yeah.
So the "Someday My Prince Will Come," she's holding on to hope that this will happen.
Mm-hmm.
Did
you know the guy who did the voice of Happy was born within weeks of the Civil War ending?
No.
Just thought that would.
Oh yeah, yes.
I just thought that was an
Okay.
interesting little tidbit. I did a Disney short on that once about a year or so ago.
Okay.
Anyway,
So her dream was reuniting with the prince and living happily ever after.
mhm.
Okay. Now, Snow White never forgets who she is, ever.
Okay. What meaning? What? What do you mean by that?
She is the daughter of the king.
And how does she know that?
What do you mean? How does she know that?
Are you referencing which king are you talking about?
She was the daughter of the king.
Okay. Okay. I thought maybe you were referring to praying that she knew she was the daughter of the king.
Well, if she's praying, she probably knew that, didn't
Okay.
she?
Yeah, apparently. Okay.
And no matter what her circumstances were, she did not let that change her.
Okay.
She's out there singing and she's scrubbing.
Yeah, but that's
I'm
the
not
thing. She's out there scrubbing and doing things that, I mean, really, when's the last time you thought of a daughter of a king scrubbing floors,
I do.
doing
Every time I'm scrubbing the floor, I'm thinking, someday my housekeeper will come.
someday a maid will come.
I'm holding out hope. I'm not forgetting that my father
Yeah.
is a king
Okay.
and I'm a princess.
Good.
And someday my housekeeper will come. Why are you laughing at me?
Okay. Someday.
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 So, no matter what her circumstances were,
She was a down to earth kind of girl. That's yes, absolutely, Ross.
but she held out hope for something better. Look, the moment he kissed her,
Mary says a maid sounds more likely than a prince. It could happen though.
well, I already have a prince.
I thought I was her prince.
I already
Yeah.
have a prince.
I'm her prince, Mary. I'm her prince. Oh my goodness.
Okay, but here
It's only Monday. This is only Monday.
In reality, we forget to raise our daughters. Rustic describes her better. Okay, we forget to raise our daughters and teach them that they are the daughter of a king
Mhm.
and that we need to set a standard for how they are treated.
Good point.
And a lot of that falls on dads.
Up.
The way
So my fault again.
the way the dad treats his wife
Uh-huh.
is how a girl expects to be treated.
Okay.
Wouldn't you agree?
I would agree with that. Sure.
Okay. So, no matter what the current situation, I'm holding out hope for the maid. Okay, so we get
Is that it?
no.
Oh,
No.
oh, phew.
We get what
I was
we
gonna say.
expect, though.
Oh, I was like halfway through here, and I thought you were done with your notes. I'm like, wow.
We get what we expect. Would you agree with that?
Get what you expect.
I think a lot of times, and I do not
Yeah.
believe because I say something, I'm not this name it and claim it type thing. I'm going to say there'll be a Cadillac in my drive tomorrow and it's going to be there. No. Birds, deer, bunnies, floor scrubbing little men equals rustic. But I do think that we speak negative things of our life.
Yeah.
too
No, I
often.
mean, if you expect this is the level you're going to attain, you're not going to attain anything more than that level. If you
in your relationship.
in anything, I
Okay,
mean, in
well-
anything, in your job, in your life, in your family life, your marriage life, if you say, this is the best I can expect,
Yes.
you're not going to get any better than that.
This is true.
So
Do you think that we have a problem in society that broken people are raising broken children, and those children think that that's how and I'll use this as an example. We were in Sam's Club.
Okay.
I was with Jack, and Marcus.
Okay.
And pushing the buggy, shopping cart, whatever you call it, in your neck of the woods. And this woman, her son was standing on the shopping cart, and he was probably 6, 7, 8. And she yelled at him. Now, I love my kids stand on the shopping cart at 6, 7, 8, but she yelled at him and she said the F word to him.
Oh, geez.
And my heart broke for that little boy, because that's what he's going to expect all the days of his life. But then I started to think, and I almost said something, but I kept my mouth shut. Because I kind of feel that that's abusive.
It is. I think it is. I think it is.
Well, so my heart broke for him, but then I thought, she's probably been taught to that way.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's, well, like you said, you know, that is a form of abuse. And a lot of times that's something, unfortunately, that gets passed on from generation to generation. Fortunately, there are people and families who are able to break that, you know.
Yes.
So
when we were at the register, I said something, the cashier was talking about something, and I mentioned that. And she said, "Oh, that's mild." She said, "At the register, we hear it all day long, people swearing at their kids."
That's wrong. And I will say, again, we're not therapists. We're not official marriage counselors or anything, whatever. But there's nothing wrong with that statement whatsoever. 100% agree.
With what statement?
About, if people are, just don't swear. I mean, first off, try to control your language, period. For, whether people are around to hear it or not, try to control your language. But at your own kids, your little kids, don't do that, please. That makes me, that just makes my blood boil. And I don't get upset too often. I might have said something to that lady. I really might have, if I had been there. Anyway, yeah, Holly was saying she agrees, and Orange Cone was saying, yeah, he shoots for the moon, reach the moon, then go for the stars.
When he was 6 or 7 or 67 or 6, 7, and 8 years old.
Yeah, I think the voice to text.
I thought when he was 67, he was riding the shopping
cart. But yeah, Steve rode a shopping cart down the hill parking lot. Wow, and he lived to tell the tale. Yeah, using the F word is just, unfortunately, it is very common these days. With some people, it's like you can't get through a sentence without them using that word.
But the problem isn't that it's just that she swore at him. It's that she was angry because he was doing what children do.
Right. The kid was doing nothing more than what a child would do. Wasn't doing anything so out of the ordinary or doing anything really bad or anything. Just being a kid. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Mary's saying, the thing that bothers her is the language you hear from people when you're with your kids. Yeah, that is bad. That is annoying. And actually, it was just the other day. I can't remember where it was exactly. Oh, I know. I won't say the exact store, but we do our grocery shopping and stuff on Saturday. I had Jack with me. We were heading out of the store. And somebody had been stopped. They check to make sure that your items match.
Oh, you're talking about the same store I went to.
Are you serious?
Well, no, I'm saying.
Does it begin with an S?
I said Sam's Club already.
Oh, you did? Okay, well, that's where it was. And rightly so, they stopped this woman because she didn't have her receipt. You don't walk out of there without them checking your receipt or checking your app if you do the app purchases. And she starts getting angry. probably because she was trying to walk out with merchandise that she hadn't bought. But yeah, she started to get angry and
Started swearing.
used the F word. And as I walked by, I just said, "Watch the language, lady. Thank you," and kept on going.
Okay, so Orange Cone says, my philosophy is if you need to swear in a common conversation, I will tune you out. And I work with truck drivers and they know not to talk like that around me. And
Yeah.
that's where it goes back to.
Yeah.
You, in a relationship, we allow ourselves to be treated poorly. If you don't like how you're being treated in a relationship, you need to speak up. Now, we were two people, broken people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, none of us are perfect.
But I mean, we had our trauma, our childhood trauma. We did.
Okay.
And, you know,
Some worse than others.
I periodically say to people, you know, I had childhood trauma, and I remember someone looking at me and they said, "Oh yeah, right." And I started to list some of the things that I went through as a child. And after about the third or fourth thing, she said, "Oh, you really did." So, and a lot of it centered around death. And, you know, all of my grandparents were dead by the time I was 13. I had
I had you beat.
yeah, but I had a cousin that she was what, 5, 6 years old. I was maybe 10, 11. She was hit by a car and killed. My brother was shot when I was, how old was I? 7?
Something like that. Yeah. He lived, by the way. So
yes.
And he's still around. We just saw him yesterday.
Yes. My sister, when I was 5, she was 3. She was dying in the hospital. They said she had hours to live. She did live.
Did you do the drowning one yet?
Oh,
she almost drowned.
Yeah. What was I? 7,
I
maybe
don't know.
8.
I don't know. See, all I had was my dad died when I was. My dad died when I was little. Okay, that was my big trauma, and it was a big trauma. But.
Yeah. So when you get married, and I was 19 when I got married. I don't know if you knew
to
that.
Who? I was 22, right? 22. Yeah, and then I turned 20
weeks after
a couple of weeks after we got married. So yeah. But technically, I married a teenager because she was 19. Almost to the level of Snow White.
Oh, you were dating me when I was a minor.
I'm leaving the show now. I'm leaving the show.
It was a different time.
It was definitely a different time. What Holly's, Holly was saying recently at Disneyland behind people who are making, making out and touching people, touching places. Oh my goodness. Luckily I was with the twins who are too young to pay attention. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Some people just don't know where to I don't know, not do things.
Go ahead, you can read that.
Okay, Orange Cone saying, yeah, Donna is my queen, and I'll always treat her that way. In our 16 years, we have never argued. We disagree, but we never argue or raise our voices. We talk it out.
That's wonderful. That is rare.
I wish I could say the same. We can't, but we do get along very well. For the most part.
Much better now.
Oh, yes, definitely. But yeah, we've had our arguments. We've had our voices probably raised a few times, once or twice. But we do. We get along very well.
What does God say about lying?
See, Mary's coming to my rescue here. You were over the age of consent. So,
when we got married.
Yes.
Not when he started dating
when
me.
She started dating, I took her out on a very wonderful date for her 16th birthday. Very wonderful night. I tipped the guy who parked the car, which wasn't my car, actually. It was my father-in-law. Well, it wasn't my father-in-law at the time, but her dad lent me his
catalog.
Lent me this big old
It's a
boat of a Cadillac to drive that night. And I think I tipped the guy who probably brought the car back more than most people probably spend on a meal. I was just, I was a young kid. I was trying to be impressed. Oh, here you go. Here's some money. Here's some money. I was throwing money all over the place.
The Mater D.
The Mater D was getting money. Everyone. I was tipping everybody that night.
I was impressed.
That was a fun night. It was.
It was.
Donna likes younger men, just won't say our age difference publicly. And I know Annette said she's got a story that she was going to share offline at some point. So I'm looking. Oh. No. Oh. It was something else earlier that she made a comment. I'm looking forward to finding out what that story is.
So,
Ed, okay. T9 is saying Ed and I have had very few fights, could probably count them on one hand, but when we fight, they are knockdown dragouts. Yeah, don't do anything halfway. If you're going to do it, commit to it and just go for it the whole way. Nothing. You don't want to be the middle of the road and like wishy-washy. Just do we want to do it? Do we not want to do it? Go ahead. You're going to fight.
Fight. The thing is, my parents were not great role models as far as
no. And I didn't really have, with my dad dying at an early age. For me, I didn't really have that dynamic in the house so much. It was pretty much I grew up with my mom and my older siblings, and that was it. So
yeah, so we did not have a good foundation. It took years to develop that good foundation.
Right, and Chris is saying that Paul and her don't fight either, and they get over it very quickly. So I guess we're the only ones who've ever fought. Everybody in our audience apparently are better than us.
Practically perfect marriages.
Mary Poppins.
What are you listening to us for?
Mary Poppins. They're all practically perfect in every way. That's good, though.
I mean, we fought.
Oh, sometimes. Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And then we erroneously believed you never go to bed angry, which meant you're up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, we had some long nights where it was like, can I go to sleep yet? Can we just?
Well, no. Will you admit that with the fight?
Mary says notice her
silence.
Okay. Well, thank you, Mary, for. Okay. At least we're not the only ones who aren't perfect.
But
I love everybody out there. This is
but
just keep commenting.
Will you admit to the fact that?
See, Chris says not that they don't ever, just not often.
Will you admit to the fact that if I said something, you viewed it as, okay, she said what she's upset about. It's over.
Time to move on. That's how I looked at it.
But nothing ever changed.
Well, it might change for a week or maybe a week and a half, maybe a few days, an hour. But whatever.
Okay, so Holly said her husband, my hubby and I have a significant age difference. Spill it. We want to know.
Oh, see, I've seen posts of you guys, Holly. You don't look like a big difference in age.
So there was something else I wanted to
Maybe it's because you're both young at heart. How's that?
There was, I originally read this.
Hey, Orange Cone, nice to see you tonight. Thanks for watching. He's got to take off for now, but you can always catch. Now, this is the thing. This will be put out there as a podcast as well. So at some point, if you're in your car and you're bored or you're doing some work around the house, you want to do something. You
want to listen to it because you want to hear what I'm going to tell you.
Then you can listen to us down the road.
So
on all the big ones, like iHeartRadio and Apple Music and Spotify, which Neil Young's back on Spotify now. So that's all good. All the big ones though.
Okay. Will you listen?
Go ahead.
So I read this and then I rewatched some of the scenes. First of all, the prince is only in the movie for like 2-3 minutes tops. He was supposed to have a bigger role.
Oh, okay.
However, when I first read this, I didn't want to share it until I could find proof of this.
Okay.
He was supposed to have a bigger role. And they said the reason he did not was because it was hard to animate a man. And I started to watch, trying to figure this out. Now, you see the animals, they're jumping and through the forest, leaping and hopping, and Snow White's movements are very flowy.
Fluid and everything.
Yes.
Well, I mean, look at even this picture
Yes,
of him. Just he doesn't look
masculine.
right. He just doesn't look right. Yeah, I mean, he's, you know, the nostrils.
Well, it's not even, it's not the drawing, it was the animating.
But even just moving him
The
around.
movement was when Snow White is moving, she like has this little skip in her step.
Right, because she's Snow White.
And her hands and arms, she's, okay, so when a man moves,
you don't want him skipping and hopping around like the animals and like Snow White. You want him to
apparently
walk
not.
a little more manly, I guess.
So this is what
T9 says he's a pretty boy.
So this is actually from WaltDisney.org, which is the official Disney Museum website.
Okay.
.org.
Okay.
Okay. When they began story development for the film, Walt and the writers pictured the prince playing a far more extensive role. Early outlines suggested a romantic, outgoing prince, one who engaged in light romantic banter with Snow White on his first meeting with her in the garden. One sequence that was developed the same length would have depicted the prince being seized by the queen's guards and imprisoned in a dungeon. Early plans for the song "Someday My Prince Will Come" included Snow White's dream vision. She and the prince would be seen waltzing in a fantastic cloudscape, and they were all dropped from the finished version of the film because
he was hopping and skipping.
Well,
they couldn't get him to go like this, macho man.
Walt was concerned about the story construction, but the difficulty in animating the prince himself. Of all the challenges in producing Snow White, no challenge was more daunting than that of animating human characters who moved and behaved convincingly. And they said it was difficult with Snow White and the Queen, but with the prince, who must project a masculine appeal, it was practically impossible.
Strange. Very strange. T9 says, walk like a man. Now, here's the thing.
And you don't see him, and even the huntsman, you don't see them walk a whole lot. Like you see the huntsman's shadow coming up behind.
Yeah, and it seems very, from what I remember, it seems very jittery, or just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like it. The motion is done well. T9 says, walk like a man. But consider this. The guy who sang this song
did not walk like a man.
Well, he sure didn't sound like a man. He sounded more like this. Walk like a man, talk like a man. Is that ironic or what? The guy who sang Walk Like a Man sounds like a woman. Anyway, just a side note.
Now,
there.
the man who animated the Prince scenes, it's Grim Natwick, and he had some assistants.
Grim Natwick. Okay.
Okay. Why are you doing that? To tell me?
Yep.
Okay. He said, yeah, I probably did all of the Prince scenes, but I was least proud of those.
Okay.
So there you have it. And I didn't want to share that until I knew for sure.
But she just pulled that up maybe minutes before the show started live. And
okay.
But you did find verification that it wasn't just a rumor, it was legit.
It was legit.
That's weird. They just couldn't, like T9 said, they just couldn't draw it.
I don't know.
They couldn't get the motion right for the guy.
I think, it's a, like a flip book.
Okay. So what? Oh yeah. Like
yeah. So when how do you animate? And they said even in like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, there were still the issues.
Okay.
So
that's interesting. I didn't know that till tonight.
So here's our key takeaways.
Oh, okay. This is called the summary of our episode.
So this is for women. Snow White never forgets who she is, but that's for men too. I mean, you shouldn't forget who you are.
Right. Where you came from, who you are.
Yeah. Snow White never forgets she's the daughter of the king. She never.
But what if you?
We are the
What
daughter.
if you grew up in the slums?
You still are. It doesn't matter where I grow up. I'm still a child of the Most High God.
Got it.
I am fearfully and wonderfully
See, I
made.
just want to throw that at you to see if I could trip you up.
You can't trip me up because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I've told my children that.
Yes, you have. Yes, we all
tell
have.
my grandchildren that.
Yep.
They are children of the King.
Steve says, no, it's called the key takeaways. It's not called the summary. It's called the key takeaways. She said it's called the key takeaways. That's what it's called. I get it.
Okay. Snow White never gives up hope.
Okay. She didn't.
She did not. She prays.
Mm-hmm. That was, and I forgot all about that scene. So that's interesting that they did that.
And you know, in a lot of the early Disney movies, you see references to God in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
What was the one with the black sheep?
Oh my goodness. I don't remember. You mean the one where they say that black sheep?
Yes.
I don't remember.
Anyone
Marcus,
remember that
Marcus,
one? It's a live action movie.
Marcus would remember what that one's called.
She doesn't change.
Thumbelina or something? I don't know.
No, that's
It's
not
not Thumbelina. I know it's not Thumbelina, but it's like that era of movie.
She doesn't change even when life circumstances have been hard.
Mm-hmm.
She asks for help.
Does she?
She asks the animals to help her.
True. Yeah.
Yep.
And you can whistle while you work.
Those were the dwarfs, the little men. She called them little men.
Well, they were little
in her
men.
prayer.
They were little men.
Now, the prince,
Mm-hmm.
who only had 2 minutes, and part of it was he was singing to her.
Poor Harry Stockwell. He probably went into the thing thinking he's going to have this big part. Nope. Too bad.
He doesn't give up looking for her.
True, he does not.
He looks far and wide. That's what it says. He looks far and wide. And then he comes and he takes her away from those dwarfs, and she doesn't have to clean anymore.
Do you think the dwarfs got like visitation rights?
I don't know. There are some, it's odd. There are some people online who speculate that, or who say that they think that Snow White should have been with Grumpy.
Okay. She probably could have turned him from being a grump if she stuck around.
She did.
She did a little bit. He actually lightened up. He did soften up toward the end there. I just wonder,
Does he
though.
have to be renamed?
Grumpy Light. How's that?
Grumpy Light?
Grumpy Light. Like a light version of Grumpy. But yeah, I mean, I would hope that the dwarfs still got to, visit with her periodically. Who takes care of the house now? Is it just the animals? Did they come in and help now?
Well, that was a
Snow,
sequel.
Snow White maybe.
That was a sequel that they never made.
We'll have to do that.
But now they're making a whole new movie.
I know. It's going to be, see, and it's live action, right?
Yeah.
Please, how many more live action movies do we have to endure? I loved the live action remake of Cinderella. I do. That was a good one.
Did you like Beauty and the Beast?
Other live actions, not so much. Beauty and the Beast was okay. It was okay. I could live with that one. Yeah, live actions.
Well, she said this
live action is going to be. I don't know.
Well,
I don't get it.
And the thing is, okay, so I don't care who they cast. They're Disney. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, Mary loved Beauty and the Beast live action.
The actress that they picked, her skin is not fair as snow.
I mean, you're taking a quintessential part of the name and the reason for her name, and just saying, who cares? Throw it out.
And maybe they put a lot of makeup on her, and her skin is
maybe that's possible. They need some new ideas. They need some new, fresh ideas.
I have said this publicly before, and I'll say it again. This is Disney's dark period. They just don't realize it yet. As far as movies,
remember back in the 70s and 80s,
that
after Walt had died, and they had a big bunch of stinkers for a while there, and I mean, I hate to say it, but I think there are some good movies that they're still putting out, but there have been a lot of stinkers, and most of them have been the live action remakes.
Yeah,
for the most part. Some of them are good. Cinderella's great. Chris agrees.
Luca was a good movie.
Beauty
I
and
know
the Beast
that's Pixar,
was not bad either.
Luca
was good. Luca was good. I don't know how we're getting off on the side topic now. It's always my fault. I know I did it.
It is.
But we are at the end of our show. We are at the end of our show.
Oh, is there a way that we have to close it out? Because I don't remember.
I think we say see you real soon or something.
We need to work on this.
See you real soon, or
I am not giving up hope that we'll come up with a great closing.
We will at some point. There's only 7 episodes in, and we still don't have a really good closing for our Disney Couples podcast. Now, on the WDWpov live stream show, we close it out with.
Did Chris like Encanto?
I don't know. I don't know if she did or not.
I mean, we like Bruno. Everybody likes Bruno. Bruno got a bad rap.
He was about one of the few parts of that movie I liked, though. But yeah, Cinderella definitely good remake. Beauty and the Beast was okay. I could live with that one.
You know, there are people in the autism community that are claiming Bruno for
as being autistic.
Yeah.
Whatever. I mean,
he's by himself.
Yeah.
He plays with rats.
Whatever. Mary says Coco was really good.
Yeah.
Mary don't care for Encanto. Yeah, we're not big Encanto fans either. Encanto, whatever it is. Yeah, I'll come back now. You hear? Chris, I don't think she liked Encanto, whatever it's called.
Okay, so we could say y'all come back here now. You're here, but it's not going to flow the same way it would from
y'all come back now. You hear? Is that good? Okay. Anyway, here's what.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please, share us out, and again, you can hear us on all the major podcast channels like Apple Music, like iHeartRadio, Spotify. What are some of the Google Play, Google Music?
I don't know.
We're on all of. I mean, we're pretty much on all the big ones, all the big podcast channels out there. So if you look for like WDWpov, sometimes it picks it up. If you look for Disney Couples Podcast, sometimes you'll find it. If you put in WDWpov Disney Couples Podcast, you'll almost certainly find it. So spread the word, tell your friends about us, and see you real soon. I'm pretty sure that's what we've been doing. So
yeah, but that doesn't work for couples.
And that says it was a fun show. Thank you very much.
Like ride off in the sunset, and they.
I know how we should.
They lived happily ever after.
I know how we should end the show.
That's how we should end.
No, the show should end like this. Gaston. That's it. That's how the show ends.
And they lived happily ever.
And they lived happily ever after. Yes. Thank you again for watching, everybody.
You rattle.
I
prattle
do rattle.
on.
Prattle, rattle.
Stop. And they lived happily ever after.
And they lived happily ever after. Good night, everybody. Have a magical week.